Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So today Mora couldn't be there for the video, but she sends all her love and we are so grateful for all the feedback that we have been getting from you guys, from all our subscribers. I think we're now at around 300 subscribers, which is so great because we only started I think a month or two ago.
Yeah, actually.
Yes. So this is our beautiful friend Joy, a witch. I'm just going to let her introduce herself.
Wow, that's huge. I'm Joy, a witch. I am a lawyer. I think we're just all lawyers.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a lawyer and I work in women's rights and sexual rights. My work is to expand the organization's work in Francophone West Africa. So I'm fluent in French and also I do interpretations, translation. Yeah, but it's just women. That's my preoccupation since.
Yes,
At least
sure.
it's paying me now.
That part. Okay. Yeah, so we're so glad to have her on our channel. I mean, our friendship is very centered on empowering one another, and we thought that Joy would be perfect for this video because we're going to be talking about women taking accountability in their relationships and their friendships and every single area of their lives in today's video. Okay, so get comfortable and let's get started.
Yeah.
So Joy, would you like to start us off?
When you think about accountability, there's also responsibility as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to. We think of what's my role? What do I bring to that table? You know, that one thing that we don't like to really say.
Yes.
Yes, and all the time we're just like, oh, it's men. I mean, men are wrong in so many ways.
Oh,
But like our problem is two ways.
Absolutely.
Like even if your own percentage was 10%,
yes.
Even if it was 3%, can you just be accountable for that 3%?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree, and I was just talking to Joy earlier, and I was telling her that sometimes on platforms such as this that are women driven, the content is made for women and by women and supposed to empower women. It creates this echo chamber where you can always feel like, I'm right, I'm self-aware. I watched this video and Mora said and Kayla said and Joy said,
me.
Yes, he's gaslighting me. Yeah, he's manipulating me and he wants me for dead.
It's
absolutely.
It's so bad.
Yes, and because of that, it takes away their attention from the real issues, right? And the fact that sometimes women are problematic. I know we don't want to hear it.
We don't.
And every single time you just mention,
I feel my skin is crawling.
Absolutely. You mentioned that. I think we've all seen this on Instagram. The whole narrative of what are you bringing to the table? As a woman, and women are like, what do you mean? I am the table. I am the table. What do you mean? And it's not enough. I'm so sorry to say, but it's not enough. There's so much that goes into being not even just like into having capacity in any situation, right? In friendships, even in your capacity as a girlfriend in a relationship, in your capacity as a daughter, there's so much that you actually need to bring to the table so that relationships can flourish, so that your friends can say, you know what, I do feel valued in this space. I do feel like I do feel cared for, so that the person that you're dating can be like, okay, my girlfriend, she's not expecting me to do everything in the relationship. I do feel the support. I do feel the understanding and the love, Yeah.
Especially in this era where it's really women are being empowered and we're taking up space.
Yes.
But it's like you're taking up space and then it has a limit. It's like when it comes to a relationship, you're just setting back into that patriarchy.
Yes.
He's the full provider.
Yes.
He's the one who should look for me. You terrible communication skills. You don't communicate how you're feeling. You don't even accept and say that, you know what, at this point actually I overreacted.
Absolutely.
At this point I should have actually said this. I should have given you the chance to explain yourself. I should have given you the chance to give me a full scope of the situation. So it's like we are only taking accountability or taking up space when it's convenient for us, and that's why we are here and saying accountability and responsibility, because being accountable and responsible is integrity as well.
Oh,
you're being honest.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because, and that's why it's because of these things that I think that we're not fully even occupying the spaces, even in our work places as well, because you're bringing that lack of accountability, and then you're calling it femininity.
Oh, okay. Okay, I love that. I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
I love that you brought that up, because I think it's also just, even when you think about it relationship wise, it's the whole femininity aspect, right? And being the high value woman.
Yes.
It's used as an excuse not to do nothing in the relationship. Yeah, it's like you're very content with being beautiful. My work is to be a beautiful girl, to be pretty, to do my hair, to do my nails, to be now taken care of.
A monument. And
guys, we're not saying that there's anything wrong with being taken care of, because we've always talked about relationships from the aspect of compatibility, okay?
Absolutely.
So if you want to be taken care of and you find somebody that is compatible with that arrangement,
to also take care of you,
absolutely. There's no problem at all. But then what is problematic, I think, is what you've just highlighted, of using femininity as an excuse for not doing anything, for being lazy. Sorry to say, because I feel like, those are trigger words. It's like, as a girl, when you're told, but do you think maybe you're lazy? And you're like, just because I'm beautiful? Just because
don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
Don't hate me because I know how to keep myself gorgeous? That's what I'm bringing to the table.
Everyone hates me in the workplace just because I'm beautiful.
Yeah, that's so true. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
I think it's terrible. It is. And in fact, I just want to go back to that point, or even just the person that you choose to be with.
Yes.
If you're the kind that you want to be taken care of, and that's fine. If you're the one that would like to step up, that's fine.
Yes.
If you want to do 50-50, that's okay.
That's okay, yeah.
But are you responsible? Are you accountable enough to say that this relationship didn't work out because I saw the signs in this person that he was not the kind to take care of me. But I was insisting. You go and say that man is bad.
Yes.
That man is stingy. That man. Never having anything good in your life,
Yes.
When do you pause and you evaluate and be honest with yourself and say, hey, at this point, actually, I should have known, and I should have seen that this person is incapable of stepping up in the ways in which I want them to step up. This person is incapable of empathy. They're incapable of responsibility, financial responsibility, emotional responsibility, spiritual responsibility. Ooh. But you just thought, no, he's so cute.
No, he's nice.
No, he'll change.
He'll change.
I mean, we are both growing up. Right now, we are 23.
Yeah.
When we'll be 27.
Yeah.
True story, bro.
This, I think, one of the things that have hit me so hard this week is the fact that understanding even, and coming to the full, when you're fully cognizant of something, I mean, you can know something, but then there's a point in time, or there are things that happen in your life that make you fully cognizant of a fact, right? And I feel like this week is the first time in my life that it fully hit me that the partner that you have right now has the potential to become your family, right? Because we're in this point where we are kind of transitioning into becoming full adults, right? Which means that our parents, they have very little responsibility for us anymore. I mean, if you want anything financially, that's your business.
And every
healthcare,
decision is a big decision.
Yeah, every decision is a big decision. Your healthcare, my dear, if you're sick, you take yourself to the hospital. You take yourself to the hospital.
I was telling Kayla the other day, I think I was sick.
Yeah.
And I came back and I was so sad.
You were so
sad. And we decided we were going to take each other.
Yeah, we're going to be taking each other to the hospital.
I'm taking myself to hospital on my own insurance that I paid for.
Imagine.
With my own job that I got.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's just to highlight that really, it's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you, right? It's up to you. And even more so that the person that you're dating right now, because I mean, if you're still in your mid to late 20s and you're dating for fun, we don't know what to tell you. We don't know what to say about that, okay?
Oops.
I mean, I really don't know. We don't want to discuss that at this point in time. But the person that you're with, the person that you're dating has the potential to become your family. That is going to be the person that you're relying on to take you to hospital, that will be your emergency contact. So the more that you're entertaining somebody that you know is unreliable, somebody that you know is irresponsible, that will be the person that you're calling in an emergency, and they're like,
and it's not going to be their fault,
with
actually.
the boys. It's not going to be
their fault. That's on you.
It's on you.
That's on you.
It is going to be completely on you.
It's on you. And I think I really do believe in that sixth sense that actually women have.
Yes.
That instinctual thing that you feel something in you when you meet somebody, and then you ignore it. You ignore it and you say, it's just, I think maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm over-expecting. No, you're not. You knew. And then when it happens, you're like,
can't believe it.
Can't believe it.
Can't believe
the
that
God hates me.
Can't believe that I have invested all these years into this relationship, into this situation, and it has accounted for zero. At the end of the day.
Nada.
Zero.
Nada.
Guys, I think one of the things that within our friendship dynamic that we always just every time we leave a relationship, we're just like, what was all that for?
What was it?
You have walked out empty-handed. You know, I even prefer people that get divorced and there's a clear separation of assets.
Yeah.
You've invested
memories.
Yeah, and you know the worst thing is also, even beyond you having to take responsibility for the failed relationship and you're part in it, you're going to take responsibility for what it has costed you personally, right?
Yes.
Because I feel like one of the things that a lot of young women are doing these days, you are focusing heavily on building a man when you yourself, you're still at construction stage.
What do you mean construction? There's no foundation. You don't have soil. You don't have mere soil to dig. Which foundation? With which stones? All the stones that you're borrowing, you're bringing to the site for where this guy is. It's like, no, can't be serious. Let's be serious. Let's be responsible for what we have. Zero soil.
Oh my gosh, guys, sorry, that was very funny. You actually have no raw materials, and you're focusing so much energy, and guys, it will take away from you. Whatever that you're focusing on, it will take away from something else. That's just the law of life.
For sure. And I think that also, I mean, when you talk about when you get out of the relationship, you have to analyze and you have to see what was the role I played in the failure of this relationship.
Yes.
If not, you move on to the next one, and it's going to fail. And then you hear patterns. Patterns don't easily break until you sit down and actually analyze and say, you know what, these are the ways in which I was toxic. My communication was bad.
Yes.
I insisted on things when I clearly knew this person, this was not his character.
Yes.
I did not practice the pause in my speech. I did not practice the pause in my thought, in my analysis. I said, let's go with the flow. I gave him space to be a man. Or I gave him no space at all. You know, sometimes it's either way. You have to really sit down and also analyze and be accountable for the ways in which you led to the failure of that relationship, because it's never one person.
Never.
It's never. A problem is never. And back to what I said, it says, even if it was 0.03%, you must sit down to find what was that 0.03%, and how do you move on from there so that you avoid it in your next engagement. And you know, even just a relationship, the problem with romantic relationships is that you really truly get to be fully yourselves. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. So you're able to see in that way, if you're a person who is forward thinking, you're going to use that, and accountable and responsible, you'll use that to better yourself. But if you're not, it becomes the direct opposite.
Absolutely.
The complete opposite of it all.
Absolutely. And you know, it's so funny that, I mean, we're making this joke the other day, and we're talking about how the approach that I've always used after relationships is I sit down, I open a Word document, and I start typing. I really take stock of the relationship from the beginning. I'm like, and the day that we met, it was this and this date, you were wearing this and this and this. I really take the time, that what you're talking about, the pause, to be like, okay, where did things go wrong? You know, and once we send them, we normally call them press releases. I'm like, Joy, I've sent the press release.
Please review.
Yes, please review.
Copy edit.
Please review. And then you CC to the concerned party, and it's not even for a response. response, or for the other person to be like, oh, but you know, it's not about sitting down and now starting to launch accusations.
No.
It's not a trial. No. It is about taking stock of what did I do? What role did I play in this situation? What do I need to improve on? Do I need therapy? Is this a certain area in my life? Was I projecting my own childhood traumas, was I projecting the fact that maybe I didn't have a father figure in my life? What are the patterns that I exhibited in this situation that made me unbearable to the other party? Because it's always,
you're not stepping up, he's not stepping up.
Not stepping up.
Like he's not stepping up, you're not stepping up.
You're not taking care of me.
You have unrealistic expectations of this person. Because your own self,
that
you are not accountable. You're not facing yourself and sitting down and thinking, actually, what? I need to deal with this problem. I don't take disappointment well. And it has nothing to do with this person. What is the issue that makes me be this way? So that when it's just something that's very normal, and possibly this person is never late, but you're just late this once, and then you hit the roof about it. You're like, you disrespect me. I always felt that. You don't go back and say, why do I really feel this way? And what's going on? And I'm really sorry that I reacted the way I did. It's like, no, as this man, you're supposed to bear with me. You're supposed to just love me unconditionally. Guys,
no. And you mentioned something that I think is so pertinent to this conversation about unrealistic expectations that women have. And I think in the age of social media, in the day and age where they're having lunch in Maldives as they have dinner in what's that place? Their Amalfi Coast. Your own boyfriend in Mykonos. Your partner who is just maybe even the same age as you, just trying to figure out life, you are abandoning him.
This is so painful to listen to.
You are abandoning him on the highway because of unrealistic expectations, girls. It's so important that young women are accountable, and that doesn't mean that now we are saying you should stay with a person
there's no need
that you feel like is not meeting your standard. No,
if that's not your standard, you exit.
Exactly. I mean, you can. Yes. Yeah. According to the situation, it's so unfair. I think sometimes, and we place a lot of burdens on men, particularly young men who are also trying to figure themselves out. I mean, you don't have to date, guys. I mean, one of the things that I even told myself, right? Because one thing about me, girls, I mean, standards. No, I mean, I am one of the girls that really do expect Maldives, and that's absolutely fine. But I told myself, you know what? I would never ever put somebody in. I would rather not date until me myself. I'm like, I can wake up in the morning and I tell myself, Kayla, I think it's time we go to the Maldives because we are very tired and work has been very stressful.
And you take yourself.
Yeah, and I take myself. But until then, I cannot place a burden on somebody. Somebody's son, he's not sleeping, he's not eating, he's not even going to work. Because he feels this heavy burden on the shoulders that he must do ABCD. No, look at yourself as well and be like, okay, this is where I am in life. Take responsibility, take accountability and say, okay, I want certain things out of life, right? If you're going to use other means to achieve them, that is completely your business, right?
That's fine.
That is completely fine. But you cannot at all place a burden on somebody that can't.
No,
they can't.
Exactly, and that's why you need to know early enough, that right early, that this person will not be able to, and you take your shoes, you cut your shoes like this,
and you go, and nobody will fault you,
and it's okay, no one fault you, because also you would not have had this person.
Exactly, you would not have had them.
Where they feel like they're constantly not enough for you. And I think that's not only, we like to peg this only on, say, financial responsibility or in financial issues, but that's not also always the case as well. It's also in other ways, even emotionally. There are people who've grown up, there are men who've grown up in ways in which they do not know how to communicate feelings. And you need to know most of them, and you need to give yourself the limit and say, I'm giving you this time, and if you can't, you go. And if you also decide to stay through and try and walk him through it, you do that, you do exactly that, and then you don't say that I've stayed here, you stay complaining, I've stayed here for you, I did it, and you never, even you on your own account, you never communicated to this person and said, you know, actually I would rather, maybe you should try and do ABCD.
Yes.
You've just silent treatmented this person.
Oh my gosh.
You have decided, don't call me, don't text
my
me.
Goodness.
You have blocked them. I mean, that's very toxic. Then you go and say,
very toxic.
Then when you're giving the account, you say that, you know, he just never understood me. You never said.
You never said.
You
never communicated.
You never communicated.
And that is it. Just on the communication aspect, you know, the toxic traits, right? And still bearing it on the shoulders of femininity. You know, it's the man.
It's the man.
I'm the lady here. I'm the woman. He should come and convince me to tell him what the problem is. He should come and let me block him. After 2 days, I'll unblock him, and then he'll know that I'm upset.
Yeah, he'll know. I have to teach him a lesson. I have to teach him a lesson. I mean, no, please.
You don't do that to someone you love. You do not do that to someone you love. You learn how to communicate, you know, because I think one of the things that people always make excuses about is that, you know, it's hard for me to communicate. It's hard for me to deal with difficult feelings. It's hard for me to leave the relationship. Everything is hard, guys.
But it's also hard for that person to be in that position.
Everything is hard. It is hard to leave a relationship. It is hard to stay in a toxic relationship.
It is difficult.
It is difficult. You need to choose your heart. And each choice has repercussions. It has consequences that you will have to be responsible for at the end of the day. There are no two ways about it. That is just how life is.
There's something Kayla and I always say, the better heart. What's the better heart?
What's the better heart?
What's
exactly.
the better heart for you?
Exactly.
Yeah, so just think of what's the better heart.
Yeah.
Be accountable for that.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself.
Yes.
With where you are, what your goals are, what you seek in a person, what you seek in a job, so that you don't end up in a space where you're just blaming people.
Yes.
And you're the constant factor, actually.
You're the issue.
You're the issue.
You're the problem.
Because out of all those problems, what is the constant factor? It's you.
Oh, my goodness. That is so true.
Yeah.
And I think also just accountability in friendships, because I mean, one of the most difficult things to navigate is female friendships, okay? Relationships, scandal, friendships.
To the left.
That's where the meat of the matter truly is. Yes, I think it's important when we talk about female friendships to understand that for you to even be accountable and take responsibility, there has to be vulnerability.
Oh yeah.
There has to be vulnerability, because a lot of us, you're not ready to be vulnerable. You're not ready to understand or even open yourself up to the possibility that you might be the problem. And that's why every single issue becomes a defense. You know, it's like you can't communicate effectively because you're constantly on the defense.
You're fighting the person. You're not fighting the problem. You're not coming to be objective and saying, let's objectively see that what was really the issue here. It's like, oh, you said that, or you can tell me that.
Yes.
You will see what I'll tell you.
I'll deal with you.
Let me squarely.
I'll deal with you.
I will go free take your insult.
Rubbish. I'm not gonna take your insult. Okay, I'm not gonna take your insult. You know, you have to be vulnerable. You need to open yourself to the fact that maybe, just maybe, perhaps,
peradventure,
let me listen to what this person is saying, and not just let me not just I'm just ninakusikiliza so I can respond.
So, yeah,
you know, I'm not just hearing you so I can be so quick to be like, but you know, and because it's like, okay, take a pause. And it's okay to actually tell someone, you know what, I need a couple of days, or I need this amount of time. Let me get back to you after a day or two, okay? I am not in the capacity to have this conversation or to address it. Instead of either ignoring the person, blocking them, being just outrightly malicious with them. You know?
I feel like even we are really stepping into that viciousness as women and young girls. We are the dangerous ones now. We are the dangerous ones. I think out of the both genders, we really, men are giving us character development. But we are really character breaking these people
into pieces.
Shattering. You're shattering not even just men, you're shattering the women in your life.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Just because you are like me, I'm a princess.
I'm a princess.
Yeah.
And everybody must bow to royalty.
Yeah, everyone was about royalty.
Yes.
And you're extremely unreasonable.
Extremely.
I must say that you're just very unreasonable. Yeah, and it's very impractical to behave in a certain way, in that way.
Absolutely.
Specifically, you know. So sit down, and I'll bring about principles that I think really apply, especially when it comes to all sorts of relationships or friendships, because even a relationship, any relationship is a friendship. Yeah. Because that's the very core and the very foundation of a relationship is friendship. Yes. And friendship is based on a lot of goodwill. Ooh. A lot of goodwill. Oh, do I think saying that the best lately. Do I think the best of this person? Do I think that that they're not, when I come to a conclusion, I need to come to the better conclusion, and not the bad one. Ooh, yes. And this is not a positivity, but this is just expecting the best in this person, because if you don't expect the best in them, how then are you friends? Oh yeah. If you think that at every point you have this, you're so cynical. Yeah. There's this video I watched for this judge, I've forgotten her name, and then she was just saying that love cannot exist in cynicism. When you think that every action that somebody does is to antagonize you, and that's when now you step into this whole defense mode, and this you're firing up every time you're like, oh yeah, you're taking up arms, no, just love, just love somebody, and love them in peace, love your friends, love your boyfriend, give people the benefit of doubt that they were possibly mistaken in the way they acted. Yes. And this doesn't also mean, I don't want you to take this and say that, we're giving people a pass. Because before we got to this point, we also talked about how you're supposed to be accountable and honest enough to see the traits in this person. Yes. And that objectivity, when you approach a relationship, a friendship with a male or a female person, in the very beginning, is going to help you to manage your expectations with this person as well. And that is where you ultimately take responsibility in managing the expectation that you have, accepting this person as they are, and saying, I accept you and I'll stay the way I'll stay here as you are, or I will leave. Or I will leave. Either of the two, guys. You can't say I'm leaving and then you want to insult them as you depart, and you knew that's how they were. Or you can't say you're staying so that just a few weeks later, a few years later, you insult them in your marriage or in your friendship. You say, you've always just been a bad communicator. You've always been useless. I knew you were just useless. All these dreams and castles you built in the air. Exactly. It's so important, I think, as women to understand that the older you grow, and particularly as a result of the decisions you make, a lot of the outbursts that you normally have, it's built up resentment. Yeah. It is, love can turn to hate in the snap of a finger. So what, by being accountable, by sitting down with yourself and taking responsibility for your own feelings, right? You make sure that even in friendships, there is no built up resentment that you have against someone. Communicate, because then that's where things come out and someone is even scared. They're like, what are you saying? They're like, no, but you remember what you did last February. Last February on the 13th of February, it was a Friday and I knew it was a bad day. And and you're just like, but is that why you have said what you have said? Because some things that you say as a result of that resentment, you don't take it back. Of anger. You can't take it back. It's out there. It is ugly. It has altered the dynamic between you and another person. It has altered the view that the person has of you, and also the view that you have of them. And now you find that you've gotten to a point where it's the point of no return. And you know what, Kayla? I think that as we deconstruct, and as we move away from these stereotypes that men have placed us in, that's why it's important for us to be accountable. Because when you're not accountable for your actions, you step in right into that stereotype that they've put us in. You're right back in there, in that very box that you've been trying to escape with all these years of women empowerment, all these years of feminism, and you're still acting like like you don't get sense. You're acting like you have no sense. You cannot be objective. You are emotional. You are expressing all these qualities of punishment to this person. You know, withholding sex, withholding communication, withholding food. All manner of food, whether it's bodily food or whether it's food put on a plate or anything that can be chopped. Then you go and chop breakfast. You go and chop breakfast.
Guys.
I think she tell them what it is. Not everybody knows what that is.
Oh no, it's this Burna Boy song. You guys have heard it.
Yeah.
The last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he talks about chopping breakfast, which is basically like chopping heartbreak.
Yeah, it's Nigerian slang for everybody
heartbreak.
Getting heartbroken.
Yes.
So instead, because of the things you've withheld, now you go chop breakfast.
You go chop breakfast,
and it's on your own account. By the way,
oh my gosh, it's on your own account.
It's on your own account. So let's try and just step out of toxic ways of communicating, toxic behaviors, and be accountable, be objective in your analysis of a person when you meet them, male or female, platonic or romantic, and then just be accountable and responsible for your own decision that you have made objectively, and don't put the onus on somebody else, because I believe that at every given point you have a chance. You did have a chance to notice this thing in this person and you ignored it. You had a chance to stop a habit, to leave, and you didn't leave. You didn't leave, and that's really on you.
And you know the worst thing is life will always give you opportunities, and not only life but God. God will give you chances. He'll be like, okay, this happened. And that's why you notice that sometimes it's like issues escalate. They go from bad to worse. If it's in a friendship, it's like this fight that you have, the one that will break the friendship, it will be an even worse fight. You know, this fight or this disagreement that you've had in the relationship, it's not even the one that actually breaks the camel's back. It's because you've decided to overlook. You have decided to pretend sometimes.
I know, and
because you want to make yourself feel better about staying in the situation, and then the thing that actually makes you leave, by that time you are a shell of a person. You don't even know where to start collecting yourself from.
You don't know where to start.
You don't know where to start.
You don't know where you left yourself.
God will always give you opportunities. He will always be like, I can already see the thing that is going to happen. I can see it. Because God knows the beginning from the end. He knows the middle from the God knows. He's all knowing. He's all omniscient. He's all powerful. All those things. So He knows the thing that is going to hurt you the most. I don't want you to go through that. I've already seen it. So I'm giving you this chance here. Stop it here.
And even just stop it there.
You say no.
Just stop it there.
You say no. I'll continue. I'll continue.
Let me hold it right there.
I'll continue, and I will push forward, and I will go ahead. And God is like, what can I do now? What can I do? What can I do? Because actually,
you've decided.
You have decided, guys. And one thing that I've noticed about the Holy Spirit,
you do as you please.
Yes, the Holy Spirit, guys. The Holy Spirit operates in accordance to your will, the willpower that you want to give Him to operate in a situation. That is how He operates. He cannot force Himself into a situation and be like, okay, the thing that's going to happen is so bad. And you know, one of the funniest things.
What happens to
choice?
One
of the funniest things that I think we had a conversation about it. Guys, I've talked about my celibacy journey here on this channel, so it's not a secret or anything. So I was talking to Joy about how, I mean, you know you're on a celibacy journey, right? And someone calls you, they're like, oh hey, you want to link up, and you're like, you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, girl.
You know.
Girl,
you know. The Lord, you know what the Lord says. You know what God has told you.
You know what you decided.
You know what you
let's go out of it.
Put God aside.
Put God aside.
The decision that you made, right?
Yeah, you know what you decided.
And then you prepare yourself. Unaingia kwa gari very well. You start the car, and on the way you start praying, Father, if it's not your will, appear before me, Lord. And you are reversing. I'm telling you, you're there, you're reversing, and you're like, Lord, if it's not your will,
let this car get a puncture.
Let this car not start. Let this car be swerved off the road.
Stop
and
that.
God is like, I can't do that. No, I will go and I will give you journey mercies, and you will arrive safe and sound.
And you'll return home
safe and sound, and you will go home safe and sound
with your regret.
With your regret,
you carry it on your back.
You carry the regret in your heart. The terrible after.
It's so bad, and I think I really like that you mentioned that, and that's really good for our next point, which is the worst thing to do to yourself is to break a promise that you made to yourself. you promised yourself, and that goes on. I mean, I think that's a can of worms, which just goes to compromise.
Yes.
And yeah, which all of that still falls under not being responsible. Yeah, so just be responsible. Just be accountable. Be accountable. Be responsible in how you act for yourself, in what you say you're going to do. In how you want to move forward in a situation. I was telling Kayla the other day, just yesterday actually, and saying that I usually, in my own action, in my conduct, in everything that I do, in most of the things, if not everything, I always do this thing. If you went to law school, there's this thing called the bystander test, you know? Yeah, it means this ordinary man, like the person passing on the road. If somebody was to stand there and assess the matter, you need to make sure that you are not at fault.
Yes.
So, and that's about taking responsibility. That's to make sure that in this situation, I've really done my best. I've done my due diligence to really show, to at least be evident to me that the choice I'm making in this for this person to be my partner is the best choice against this analysis, against these expectations that I have, against their character and against their capabilities, you know, and just bring it and be realistic and say, you know, to make decisions. And you know, that responsibility and that accountability comes from a place of being able to trust yourself. Ooh. And being able to trust yourself is a very long journey, because it means that you need to understand yourself. You need to sit down and have very set goals and very set expectations of yourself as a person before you place this on somebody else. So if you trust yourself enough, because you have built character, true character, a good foundation on your personality, then you will trust the decision that you will make, and you will not expect somebody to do things that they can't, or you won't stay in a bad situation, be it a relationship or a friendship, because you know that I'm in my right sense to think that somewhere in the corner, this man will waste my time, this guy will waste my money, this girl will disrespect me. And when that happens, please be responsible that it is you who allowed it. It is you, because you knew. All right. So I guess that's it, really. You know?
That's really all I want to talk to you guys about today. And just, I think, to culminate the video, as a person that's watching, like a woman that's watched this video, and they're asking themselves, okay, I'm kind of seeing what you guys are talking about, and I can see some of the traits that you're speaking of, and I'm here in this place now, right? And I'm relating to what you're saying. What's my first step? What do I do next?
I think you go sit with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, Mura likes to say this a lot. You have to sit with yourself.
You sit down.
Go and sit with yourself.
You analyze
down. If it's reflection that you're taking from your past relationship or friendship or a bad situation, you have to face yourself, and you need to be honest.
Honesty.
With what went wrong on that other person's part, and on your part, what you could have done to avoid that, what you could have done to mitigate it, what you could have done to solve it, and what you could have done to not even be in that position altogether. Because one thing is that you will never be in charge of another person's responsible behavior. You will never be in charge of how they react. They act, the choices they make, but you're responsible for yourself. I think that it's even just like how when you go to driving school here in Nairobi, and I'd like to think it's like that for many of these other cities in the world, and they say that, you know, everybody else is mad. You know, like that book, that book, like everybody in Lagos is mad.
Everybody is mad.
It's just mad. So it's everybody on the street is mad. These streets of friendship, the streets of, and you're the one who's saying, and that's because you're the one who's responsible. When you're driving on the way and you're at the roundabout, and you are the one that has the right of way, but you see somebody is coming and they're coming with high speed. Because you have the right of way, will you continue and pass? You're not going to do that. You will have to practice what? The pause. You will have to wait and stay and let that person pass, because if that accident happens,
it will, they'll be on the wrong, but it will be an accident.
But who will have the implication? Who's going to waste the time in the week chasing insurance, or who's going to even die or hurt themselves? Just because you wanted to be right. Just because you wanted to be right. No. You have to do what's practical.
Absolutely. And I think you've mentioned something that's really important, and it would be so great for us to mention it as we close the video. On the fact that I think taking accountability and taking responsibility doesn't mean that you will always be perfect or you will always get it right. It's about what happens after you have failed, right? What happens after there's been now the fallout or the disagreement or this, what happens after that is what determines your character. Absolutely. Is what shows you it's what shows who you are as a person, how someone else perceives you, and also even just how you relate with the person moving forward, you know. So that's really where the accountability and the responsibility comes in. So you're allowed to fail, you're allowed to be a villain, you're allowed to be the villain in your own story, but after you are allowed to choose yourself, you're allowed to do all those things. But after that, what happens, how you handle the conversation afterwards, how you treat people afterwards, that is a true determinant, I think, on how far you've come on your journey of trusting yourself, of the kind of principles that you have set in place. We've talked about the building, right? The way you're building yourself up, the raw materials that you're using in this season, right? As a young woman, at the time that you're taking to discover yourself, you know, to know, okay, me as Joy, me as Kayla, these are my belief systems. These are the things that I will not compromise on. This is the standard that I expect. This, not only of others, but of myself. So every single time that I am not meeting that standard, every single time that I'm in a situation that has gone contrary to that, what is the responsibility here? What responsibility do I need to take? Who do I need to be accountable for in this situation? How do I move forward?
How do I move forward?
How do I move forward?
And you can only move forward with honesty, vulnerability, responsibility, accountability, objectivity, all these things is how you can go ahead from there. And also just forgiveness, you know. Forgive yourself for it. Forgive yourself for it, because many times, even when I tell you that, you know, because we can, when I'm talking about how you knew, that knowing can also break you. You have to accept and say, you know, I didn't know, but I failed at it, and it's okay. And how do I how do I not do this again? How do I ensure that this doesn't happen again? So forgive yourself and give yourself a lot of grace, even in those itties, responsibility, accountability, integrity, all these things. Remember to have grace for yourself throughout the season,
and for others as well, because I think forgiveness is something we are learning a lot in our friendship in this season. Forgiveness and grace, the benefit of the doubt, and just love, you know, understanding that. And even just as Christian women, love is above all else, you know, in how we love one another, in how we commune with one another. It's so important.
Yeah, it's so important. So I guess, that's all, folks. That's all.
Joy, it was so lovely to have you. We can't wait to have you again on the channel. She'll definitely be back, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope that it was helpful, guys, and we will see you next week with Mora. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.